Now, the BBC had a consultation here. 52% of the thousands of people that they consulted were in favour. So what's the problem?
Well, actually, the consultation itself was quite complicated. It asked people questions like, do you want to see changes in your programming? Do you want this option or that option? So I don't really feel that that means it's 52% of people saying that they want to scrap free TV licences. It's 52% of people saying, we realise the BBC's got a problem. They've been handed this problem by the government. And actually, 48% of people who answered that consultation said, we don't want to see any change for over 75s at all.
And there will still be people that are eligible for a TV licence, but part of the problem is that this all gets rather confusing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So 1.5 million people aged over 75 who receive or who are eligible for pension credit will also be eligible for a free TV licence. But pension credit is one of the most underclaimed benefits amongst older people. And so of those, 650,000 people who are eligible, who live in poverty, are not at the moment claiming that pension credit.
So is that because it's complicated or because they're too proud?
It's a combination of all of those things, and that's something that Age UK we work on quite hard, because obviously if people were open to making a claim, then they could be significantly better off. Sometimes it's that they feel they don't want people to look into their finances. Sometimes it's that they feel too proud or feel that they shouldn't be looking to the government to help them. But if people need support and need money, then please come and at least talk to Age UK or look online and talk to the government.
Well, you hear a lot of people saying, you know, and certainly online, I've paid my taxes my whole life. Why should I have to pay for this now? And we'll come to that in just a moment. But having said that, if you paid your taxes your whole life, there's no lack of pride in claiming what is essentially a benefit for later on in life. You bought that.
Absolutely, and it's something that we could help you with over the phone at Age UK. So it isn't so complex. People shouldn't be put off claiming if they think that they might be eligible. And now's a great time to check, because it would make such a big difference to you if you then also had a free TV licence.
So, Lionel, what do you think? How important is TV? How important is TV for you?
I've worked, most of my working life has been in television. Does it mean that I've reached an age where I can retire, but I still have to pay for what I used to work in?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think...
That's a limited amount of people, though, isn't it, who could use that as an excuse. I don't want to pay because I used to work in it.
I work in it, but listen, I'm 90 years old, so I've worked in it for a long time.
But the thing is also, Lionel, there are people who say, in fact, Joanna says, probably an unpopular opinion, but I think it's means-tested. There are pensioners that struggle, fair enough. But there are also people of pensionable age that can afford to pay.
Yes.
A TV licence is not a benefit. I get things like TV and radio that can help combat loneliness, but if you can afford it, you should pay for it. Now, Lionel, I'm assuming over your many, many years in television, you have amassed something of
But what about the men in suits at the BBC who have given themselves pay rises quite recently? We ask for pay rises sometimes and we don't get it. They ask for it and get it. And they can certainly afford it.
What does for someone who is, and you say you're 90, so what does it mean for you to watch TV?
Well, the D-Day thing was just wonderful. Trooping the Colour was wonderful.
Both massive BBC shows and very expensive.
Were they expensive?
Well, they're always expensive
yeah,
to
they
make.
will be.
Yeah, that sort of thing is going to be
if you
expensive.
enjoy it...
But I love it.
I know.
I absolutely loved it. And I love... television is everything to me. I mean, I really am a couch potato.
All right, well, let's speak to Calvin Mackenzie, who's down the line now. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. So you, as far as you're concerned, Calvin, this is an absolute disgrace. This is just a tax to watch TV.
Yes, I mean, the idea that we are being taxed in order to pay Graham Norton $2 million a year or Gary Lineker $2 million a year, who, by the way, Lineker can make the equivalent amount of money on BT Sport, and he does do that. Why do we need to have a tax which pays for a pop music channel like Radio 1 or a middle of the road channel like Radio 2? I mean, you can go and listen to that to heart. There are two commercial classic music stations. Why do we need Radio 3? All these arguments. For instance, they say we'd have to shut down BBC TV4. Really? Does anybody watch it? Does anybody know anything about it?
But there is a worldwide sort of pride that goes with the BBC, isn't there, Calvin?
Work 4 nights a week.
Calvin, isn't there? There is a kind of worldwide pride that goes with the BBC and the journalism that goes with the BBC. Isn't that something
Really? Really? What journalism? Are you saying that ITV News, that also supplies
Not at all.
Channel 4,
Of course
isn't
not.
capable of filling that hole? Other opportunities arise. £150 is quite a lot of money. When you're 75 years old, you've got it for nothing. But I say carry on not paying those people and chop that money off by simply shutting down some of these areas, all these online offerings the BBC claim that they have to be in. Why do they have to be in it? I don't want to pay the tax. If I don't pay the tax, if I don't pay the licence fee, I go to jail. So the idea that this is a licence fee in which you can walk away from your obligation is completely untrue. It is absolute scandal that's going on. And not only that, the Director General, Lord Hall, will only ever be interviewed on this issue by his own staff. Do they bowl the tough balls that they bowl at potential prime ministers? No, they don't. They lob them up. He knocks them for six. It's a disgrace what's going on. And number 10 says this should not be happening, right? Well, why don't they do something about it?
So should it, Kelvin?
That this was shut down.
Kelvin, should it actually be the BBC who decide this?
Well, actually, funnily enough, why don't we put it out for a referendum? They seem to be quite popular these days.
Yeah, and then look what happens. And so can you imagine a situation where scores of 75-year-old television viewers who didn't either complete the means-tested forms and didn't understand them, or actually are not eligible for it but still didn't actually pay for their licence, all going to court and all being sent to prison?
Well, there's a load of people go to jail every year for non-payment of their TV licences. An absolute disgrace and an absolute shock. I could see the courts, if the old rose up, if they rose up as one and said, I'm not going to pay this, there aren't, as we already know from the fact that we don't even send drug smugglers to jail anymore, there aren't enough cells to deal with it. We should fight again not to pay this tax. It is disgraceful. And I'd be very interested if Boris Johnson would say that is not going to be allowed. Shut down BBC 2, shut down BBC 4, shut down radios 1, 2 and 3 and see if we can get on just well without them.
So thank you, Kelvin, as always. Never sits on the fence. Let's talk to Lionel. Love that. Let's talk to Dave now. And Dave's been on the show a number of times. Lives down in Devon, and so Dave, what does television mean to you? Why do you watch TV?
Well, it's like having a friend in the corner. Because I'm partially disabled, I don't get out a lot. I've not got as many friends as I'd like to have, but I watch TV quite early in the morning, sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep, and also a lot of the morning. Then I'll go out for a couple of 3 hours, and when I come in, I'll watch TV yet again.
Yeah, so it's very important to you, and you're just outside the threshold to receive pension credit. So when this comes into play, how will you afford it?
Well, I'll just have to do what I've had to do with a lot of things. I've had to cut down on different things. I mean, I got myself a smart meter a while back, and that's been a godsend, that, because that's saving me a lot of excess electricity money. I've had 2 rebates from the electric company already, covering over £200, right, which I would never have got if I just had me normal
meter.
A smart meter.
Would you think once this happens, will it be difficult for you to pay for your television licence? Would you have to scrimp and save and maybe, sort of cut down on the heating or cut down on something else?
I should just... Well, I should just have to take it easy. Little things that I used to do, maybe go out, as I say, I don't go out very much, but I do just have to cut down on different things, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I mean, I got an old car which is 16 years old, and I use that, but I only do about 100 miles a month. That's all I do, to save on the petrol, because petrol keeps going up as well as everything else.
Absolutely. All right, Dave. Well, thank you very much indeed. Lilo,
I don't drive anymore.
Yeah. But you were nodding during Kelvin's piece there. Do you think that the massed ranks of the over 75s should say, right, that's it, we're not paying it?
Absolutely. I absolutely think I'm not paying. Well, I won't pay it, and I don't drive now anymore. The reason I don't drive, I'm quite a good driver, is that if I have an accident, they'll say, "Oh well, he's too old."
But you won't need to drive if you're in jail.
No,
I mean,
I won't. They'll look up.
Would you? How far would you go? How much
television
would you risk?
in jail?
Well, there's a possibility that you would.
That is a very good point.
There's a possibility that you would. So I'm assuming that then that there's a leadership challenge for the Tory party now. Would you appeal to any of those? Would you think that would get you extra votes in any election that might come if you were to say, right, OK, we're scrapping this?
Yeah, the Conservatives already promised that they would keep all pensioner benefits until 2022. By failing to step in now and support the change in this, they're failing to keep that promise. The leadership candidates really need to step up and fill the gap. The BBC have been left in an almost impossible situation by having to help to make this decision. We think that it's the government's job to help alleviate pensioner poverty, and they should now step in and make sure that this happens.
Yes.
All right, thank you both. Thank you for joining us
today. I do
today.
think so too.
Thank you, Lionel.
Thank
and I hope it works for the old people, because we need it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love television.